Hello everyone, I am James from Forex Alchemist, and I am back after a long absence because I've been playing Total War Three Kingdoms and having a great time with it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this game and bring the first in an expert guide, similar to what we have done with Endless Space in the past. So instead of going for factions, instead you go with leaders in Total War in Three Kingdoms. So there's 5 groups: Coalition, Governors, Outlaws, Tyrant, and Yellow Turbans. Within these, there are only a few that are in the very hardest position. Yuan Shu, who declares himself Emperor, is one of them. None of the governors, none of the, or Dong Zhuo, the Tyrant, not. And then Gongdu and Huang Shao are both in very hard category, but we are going to play the 4th very hard start, Zheng Jiang, the Bandit Queen, the only female leader in all of Three Kingdoms. Her background, as I understand it, is that she is kind of not really a character in the actual romance of the Three Kingdoms. She's mentioned once kind of as a minor character, somewhat offhandedly, but then the Total War team kind of embellished on that story a little bit and made her more of a thing. And she's been my favorite character so far. I think she's awesome. So she starts up here in the north of China in the mountains and has 3 ways that she can go. East towards this like highly populated farm region, west towards this kind of plains, more dispersed area, or south towards like the population centers and the old seat of the Chinese Empire. So we'll talk more about how we're going to play here in a second. I'm going to play on romance mode because I think that that's the most fun way that I've had playing this game. I'm interested to see if some folks disagree and like the more traditional, slower paced mode, which is called records mode. But yeah, I'm going to go with romance. It reminds me more of Warhammer Total War, which I really, really enjoyed. And as usual, we're going to be playing on the hardest settings. That means legendary difficulty in the campaign and the battles. That means in battles you can't zoom around the map, you have to stay rooted to your own troops, and you can't pause. And in legendary campaign difficulty, in addition to some other detriments, the biggest one is that there's an automatic save every action that you take, and you can't go back. So let's get into it.
China is in turmoil. The great empire of the Han, stretching back ages beyond counting, is being devoured by corruption. The Yellow Turbans, thousands strong, began raising their banners in rebellion.
I'm going to turn down the
and seizing
volume of the game
across
just a
the
little bit.
realm.
All right. So we have a pretty linear start here, where the first turn is quite scripted for us. We don't start with any territory, but that's not really going to be a problem because we are going to beat Shun Yu. We're also going to take off the pin from our own head because that's going to be a pain in the ass. We're going to take out Shun Yu. Oh, and we have actually some decent starting ancillaries. So these are random at the beginning. You usually get 2 or 3, usually 3. But a better horse is a substantial boost. So we're gonna immediately give ourselves this exceptional horse. It's the highest level. A little bit slower, but definitely worth it. And we're also going to give ourselves this military instructor. And we have a clay warrior and a clay axe. We'll give ourselves the warrior. Yeah. Kong Qian, he doesn't need anything yet. He doesn't deserve it. So, that's what we do first. Then we're gonna equip a weapon. So we're gonna give him these double swords, which do a bit more damage. So I don't run through it too fast. There's 3 statistics with each weapon associated with the heroes. Base damage, armor piercing damage that has 100% armor penetration, and a melee attack rate. And so these double swords, they give some subtractions to the to a couple of stats, but they have struck me as being just better, substantially better from a damage perspective. So I usually go with the double swords, at least in the early game. So let's get to it. We're going to do our first battle against Shu Yun. We're just going to dive right in. So we're going to be using a fair number of AI exploits to win battles with as few resources as possible in this game, and be as aggressive as possible to expand out. For me, that's part of the strategy of playing the game at its highest level. When you go the hardest people on the hardest difficulty, or the hardest factions on the hardest difficulty, you kind of have to push things to the limits. And so I'm not bashful about doing that. And here, the limit that we're going to push is that the AI archers, they do not fire at generals. And so right now our opponent has 1 strategist, a super weak general, and 2 archers. And so instead of running any of our lovely and valuable troops into their archers, we're just going to hang out in the back right here and send in our generals to disrupt these 2 archer formations. In most situations, you're not really going to be able to do that. But here it works because there are no other troops. And our generals are awesome. So we're going to use, I guess I'll slow it down slightly. So Jiang has this ability that does extra splash damage called Blinding Fury, which is a very nice one. Yeah, it does splash damage. And Kong Qian has this thing that gives extra melee evasion, although they're both being blocked by this guy's ability, which puts a dampen on their ability to do things, their ability to use their actives. So we're just going to make sure that these guys don't come back by running around them for a second. Shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And that's fully broken. And now we're just going to take out this poor strategist. So one important thing to remember is that when you hit spacebar, you can see the current levels of exhaustion for all the characters. So you see Kong Qian is at red, so he's super exhausted. And we're going to kill this guy. But Zheng Jiang never gets tired thanks to her axes, which is awesome. So she is one of them, like, she's the Energizer Bunny. She will just go on and on and on, and we're going to use her a lot to do things. Kong Qian did outkill Zheng that time, though. Good for him. So we put our sweet axes to use. We lost zero troops. And now we take the town. So, in the sieges in Total War 3 Kingdoms, the most important thing to know is that the towers in this game are fucking brutal. These things will fire fast and do 1,000 damage per shot or more. So you can get a sense like of the hit points here. 40,000 for the archers, 72 for a whole unit of spearsmen, 28 for our single general. So I have lost entire generals from full health just because I let them in range of a tower accidentally. Second important thing to know is that if your troops are deployed in cover, they are not revealed, their location is not revealed to the enemy. So what does the enemy do? Well, they'll just deploy clustered around their best towers, their best cluster of towers up here, in this case. And third important thing, Zheng has this group of hidden axes as one of her special units. And so we can hide everybody else, and then we're going to bring our hidden axes here. You see that we can see the enemy clustered in their towers up on the north side of the map. And our hidden axes can't be seen by the enemy, so they don't know where we are. And we're going to sneak in and take their towers. The towers themselves have no vision range, so they can't detect my my hidden axes. So I can capture the entire point while remaining stealthed. And I'm just going to walk to not get exhausted here, and put the game on maximum speed. These guys also have bows, so in addition to being very solid melee fighters, they can fire off a few shots from time to time, which is pretty sweet. So I'm going to then travel outside to go take this other one over here. Traveling outside is important because all of these little peasants hanging out in the marketplace, some of them will actually detect you when you come through to take a site. And so after we take these two sites, we're actually going to take the last one with our generals, because we're going to be detected if we try to take them with our axes. And I would say normally I don't try to do this perfectly, but since this is for the guide, it's going to be kind of like maximizing everything that we can do. So we're going to come through here. This becomes ours. And now we're going to take a look at these things. Their guys are going to start moving a little bit. There we go. Because now they can see us coming out of the bushes behind. And so remember that archers will not fire at the generals. So no matter how quickly they come in, they're just going to keep moving until they get in range of these guys, which is a really nice situation to be in. Because then they'll have to run all the way into the face of my generals. Come on, guys. Yeah, Zheng's horse is slightly slower than Kongqian's. So she's falling a little bit behind, but she does not get tired. And having a big horse with extra charge is going to help her out a lot. Make sure these guys are into range of the archers. So I actually kind of want to have them sit out here for now a little bit. We've got our, it looks like both of the spear units are coming around that way. Totally fine. Now we're going to come in here. And we'll start taking that tower in a second. Should go very quickly. Great. And that allows us to come in here. Alright, and we're just going to take these things out, or these guys out as much as we can. Meanwhile, those guys can start attacking. These guys can start attacking here, and 1, 2, 3 can move up to defend this area. Oh, come on, go get him. Get him. Ooh, I forgot to put fire on these guys. Okay, they're running. It's important that I get my butt over here. Oh, come on, come on. Stay in there. Don't let them recover as easily. There we go. There we go. We don't want to. We want to just make sure that the tower does not change hands again. Now these are spear units, so obviously they're very good against our horses. So we're going to try to use our axe units against their spear units as much as we can. Oh, their archers did recover over here, which could be a pain in the butt. So let's try to inflict some extra casualties here before we come back. And then we're just going to kind of plow into the back of these guys. Do some big attacks there. And then they should be fleeing. Excellent. Oh, those guys are a long way away. Alright, we're gonna do our best to take down these guys. And we can go ahead and conquer this area. Yeah, because they should all be fleeing in a second. Excellent. Okay, not too bad. We lost, yeah, a bunch of axemen here in the fighting. More than I would like, but still not too bad. We could have played that out more slowly, but more safely by just using our generals to beat those units, but it takes a very long time. And so I think this was a perfectly acceptable way to go.
They have paid for ignoring us.
Yep, we get almost no cash, but we get a town out of it. We're definitely going to occupy. We don't want to burn down any of the town, especially since this is going to be our capital. And then we will get a bonus for upgrading a building. The first building we're going to upgrade will be our communal workshops, because we just are going to need to optimize our economy. So there's 3 varieties of income in the game. You have peasant-based income that comes from your settlement administration. So your main building chain gives you a little bit of income from peasantry. You can see it over on the left there. But really it comes from like developing the land here. Yeah, you can see income from peasantry, or tax collection is the other way that you get income from your peasantry. And those numbers are base modified by your population. So that's your green income. Then you have blue income, which is commerce. You get commerce from like inns and trading posts and things like that. It's modified by a bunch of different buildings. And then you have your industry income. So that's in purple here. So that's like workshops and mines and things like that. So we're moving from a plus 100 to a plus 200 income. And if you look at some of the other things we were clicking over, like with this land development, this goes from 70 to 90 when it upgrades. And the inn goes from 100 to 120. So industry is the best thing, the best upgrades as far as base values go. The base values in industry are very, very good. And so later on, peasantry and commerce become in some ways stronger than industry. But for now, industry is king. So We also have an assignment. We're going to put our assignment to use right away. And we're going to use Qigong to do this +4 food production. Food is going to be our main currency that we're going to use to buy all sorts of good things. And then we are going to upgrade Zheng Jiang. So this is the upgrade screen. You basically have to move across a grid as you upgrade. Levels are pretty rare here, unlike in, for example, Warhammer, if you know that game, where you would level up almost every fight. Here it's much, much more rare. And we want to get to Zheng Jiang's. I'm going to keep mispronouncing that. I'm sorry for anyone who speaks Chinese who's listening. Zheng has 3 really good upgrades. First one is Reach, giving her extra campaign movement range, which is one of the 2 best characteristics in that a general can have. The second is Replenishment, which she gets +5% here, which is a really nice number. And then third, she has this amazing Poisoned Blade ability that does 14,000 damage to a target 3 times per battle, where she can just take out generals without even fighting them. So we're going to move in that direction, and we're going to start out with this +10 armor for spear infantry. Okay, other things we need to do on turn 1 include meeting the one guy that we're not at war with, Zheng Jiang, our bandit pal to the north, and we are going to offer him a trade agreement, and to make this work, we will give him 31 extra gold, which is absolutely worth it for us because we get 301 per turn out of it. So we go from making 330 a turn to now 630. Now, one of the reasons, and this is a minor point, but one of the reasons to be as nitpicky as I was there about not losing very many troops during the skirmishes is that the fewer troops that you lose, the less he will charge you for the trade agreement, because he'll perceive your military power as that much higher. And at this stage in the game, you know, like a little shift of 50 troops here or there actually is a substantial percentage of your military power. So anyway, I think that that's that as far as turn 1. Let's move to turn 2. And then we can talk a little bit about our strategy for expansion in the early game. So, 3 Kingdoms, the campaign map is organized into units called, where should we put it? Over here. Units called commanderies. And our starting commandery is Taiyuan. Taiyuan has 3, what are they called, colonies? I don't know. But anyway, 3 kind of cities, right? 1 major settlement and 2 minor settlements. A Toolmaker, which gives extra industry, and an iron mine, which also gives extra industry. Toolmaker is down here. Iron mine is over here. So we're going to try to secure both of these guys as quickly as possible. They're both held by our enemies, who we're already at war with, and then our further enemies are, you know, quite a ways away. So to make this happen, getting to the iron mine takes a lot of turns, but getting to the Toolmaker takes 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to move right to the edge of our territory, where we are still replenishing. We're already pretty good here as far as our replenishment level, but we're going to recruit in our new general friend, our heir and best pal, Lu Zheng. So Lu doesn't take that much. Yeah, she doesn't take that much gold. We're going to recruit in an extra crossbowman for her. And, oh yeah, we didn't do our other trade thing. So We may recruit another crossbowman, but let's get to that in a
Will
second.
not stop
So,
until the very mountains are mine.
I mentioned before that food is like our main currency that we're going to use to trade to people all around this place. Our food is being produced by the guy who's on assignment, Chu Gong, for 15 turns. He's giving us 4, so that's the 4 surplus here. And so when we go talk to Zheng Jiang, we can figure out that he has very poor food but rich money, which is excellent because we want to offer food for trade in request for some gold. And so the way that the balancing of deals works here is also very important. Let's just take a look at the math briefly. Trading 1 food gives a plus 1.7 kind of positive balance on the offer, and they will only agree if the total balance is 0 or positive. So as I go to 2, 3, 4, the deal becomes more positive and he would accept this deal. So let's look a little bit at how this increases. So it goes from 1.7 to 2.4, an increase of 0.7, followed by 3.1, another increase of 0.7, and 3.8, another increase of 0.7. That means that the first food is by far the most valuable, right? That's because he has this baseline opinion on the idea, and then the food amount is modified by that. On the flip side here, if you start going up and up and up with the amount of money that you're requesting from him, eventually the numbers start jumping really rapidly. Like it goes 3.6, 4.2, 4.8, 5.4. But in the early stages of this, it increases really slowly. So you can, for 1.4, you can get 360. And so the most effective way that I've found to maximize what you can get out of these folks is to use both the request regular payments and the request lump payments. And so just to kind of bring this to life, let's say we're going to give up 3 food to Zheng Jiang right now, because he's the only contact we have for the next little while, so that should be fine. And so what I'm going to try to find is the inflection point where, like, all right, here, I can do 3, 4 clicks and stays at 0.3, goes up to 0.4, and then 5, and then 9. So I'm like, okay, well, that's like kind of the inflection point there. 1.5 is a pretty good one. And then same here, that around 76, as you go from 76 to 84, it goes up 3. 84 to 92, not a big difference. It goes up 0.6. And so that 75 a turn is about the sweet spot for him. And this gets us 750 gold over 10 turns, plus 400 gold right now. So a total of 1,100 gold on turn 2 for 3 food, which is pretty valuable, I have to say. And we could look at a non-aggression pact, but it's not something we need right now.
From such small sprouts,
So, sorry for that long explanation, but I think it's useful in understanding a little bit about this because we're going to be using that a lot. Character developments and appointments as general, sure. And we are going to recruit one more guy in.
How may I serve?
And that will probably be another crossbow. I use archers a lot. And one more thing about replenishment. You have to move first and then recruit Lu Zhang in, because you want her to get at least 1 turn of this mustering bonus, which is an additional 12% replenishment that you get until you move with your new character. And so, yes, we want her to move, then be recruited in, then recruit all the guys in, because they'll be at higher health, more guys for the battle that's going to come next turn. All Alright, so now it is winter,
Vent frustration.
and we're going to just run in. Oh, we have an ancillary, a craftsman. Expertise and income from industry. Very nice. This reminds me though, we can
I see some homes, but too few to be called
Yeah.
a city.
we can just equip these guys, no reason not to. You can have some extra satisfaction, Kongqian. And let's go in.
Push forward. Roar loudly.
So, Lu Zhang is a sneaky rogue. Allows us to fight night battles. Night battles are great, not only because they can cut their enemy off from reinforcements, but because it hurts their ability to spot your units, which is, you know, great since we use all of this hidden, like our hidden axes for things, and it gives them minus 15 morale, which is actually huge. It makes them much, much, much easier to break and rout, especially when they don't have
Do
generals
right by
around.
me, and I will do the same.
Their corpses will soon litter the battlefield.
So we're gonna use
Today we end their struggle forever.
a kind of similar strategy here
I
to
have no time for poetry. Kill them all.
the one that we did before with the last town, which is we're going to deploy all of our guys in cover, and then take the relevant towers with our hidden axes. So I'm going to do this one a little bit faster. Sometimes you can take this tower because it'll snipe a few of your guys as they're coming in. But I'm just going to take this tower for now. And as you can see, there's not a ton of places to hide. You can hide over here, but this one, this little bush is actually a little bit closer. So we're going to use the fact that Total War doesn't really care about getting very up close and personal with its its unit deployments. So let's make them a little bit wider. Good. And then I'm just going to kind of set these guys. Team 5. Lu's archers also have the ability of flaming shot, which reduces the morale of people that it hits even more. So we're going to set her archers to that. The crossbows do not have that ability. And 6. Okay. So then we're going to just go ahead and throw every guy right in here, just making sure that they have the little eye showing that they are indeed hidden. And putting them right in the middle.
Axemen, stand by!
There you go. So now it is nice and cozy in there, as you can see. They'll have no idea where we are. An entire city hiding in a bush. So then we'll put our hidden axes up here, start the battle, walk in. And just as before, when they don't know where I am, they deploy in the center of their town so that they could presumably react to wherever they saw me, but they don't count on the hidden axes. And so as I run up, the only thing I need to do is be careful to not get sniped unnecessarily by any of these towers. So I'll just kind of set them on a path coming through the bush here and coming in that way. So, come in, and here we are, taking the tower. Now, you can hold shift to set the actual path for your guys. And group 6. Same. Great. And so now we will shortly be in a situation. Oh yeah, there's the guys. They're coming. We'll shortly be in a situation where our opponents react to us. They're going to be coming from down here. I forgot to even show who they are. They have no archers defending the Toolmaker. It's 1 cavalry unit and 3 sword units. So, important thing to know about the sword cavalry and most of the sword units is that they have shields. So one of the most important statistics that we want to look at is right here, this range block chance, which will determine how many arrows just fall harmlessly into the group, right? So if it's 20%, then like these guys, these are anti-missile cavalry. They have shields, so they deflect 65% of arrows coming at them, which is pretty damn good. These guys, 50% for these swordsmen, also pretty good. And so, I mean, it's not going to stop us from pouring arrows into them, but, you know, it makes them much less effective. So when we have the option, we want to be shooting at non-shielded characters. However, Zheng Jiang, she does not care about their shields. So just as the last arrows fall, she comes in and starts fighting them up. Come on, Zheng. Charge in. You've got the horse. You can do it. Okay. And, yeah, she's a beast. She is an absolute beast. And so now, the remaining guys here, they're coming around the long way. So this is their captain and another saber militia. They won't last for long. I'm just making sure that these guys won't recover. Oh, are they going to turn around? Yeah, scootly poop. Alright, well, we're going to move up a little bit more. Yeah, they're going to be fully routed soon, I expect. Our other nice generals are making our way in. Yep, fully routed. And then we're going to use our 3 complementary abilities here as we charge into these puppies. Lu gives them no armor, and Kong Qian gives my own guys evasion in melee. And so with a little bit of reduced armor and my own evasion, these guys will not last long from a morale perspective. There we go. The 3 generals take them out easily. And remember, they all have lower morale because of the night battle. So we're just going to rout them. And that should probably be it. Yep, there we go. And then we're going to go reduce their morale even more by heading over here. Meanwhile, we're letting our lovely archers have a field day with this poor infantry commander. Shannon. So yes, it's not very effective arrows against these guys, but effective enough. And now we're going to take their capture point, which will give us an even bigger buff to our morale. Captain is not interested. There we go. Easy peasy. Lost 0 guys, I believe. So we'll let our pals do some extra killing just to, you know, for sport. No, but we don't have to. It doesn't give us any extra benefits for this battle. There will be many times where we want to let them chase down, and chasing guys down efficiently will actually be quite important, but not today.
My legend grows.
So once again, we're going to occupy here. No use to burn stuff down.
To take it. We should enjoy it. Never yield.
And yeah, so with 1,000 gold on our balance sheet and an extra ancillary. Ooh, a composite bow. All right. Gives extra cunning. Lets us fire while moving. That's kind of cool. Lou? Happy bow. Cunning is good for her. Oh, yeah, I guess as long as we're doing our little brief introduction to the game and its mechanics, for those of you who are expert level players but may not have spent a lot of time on Three Kingdoms yet, each character has 5 statistics which do different things. Expertise gives melee evasion, a chance to dodge enemy attacks similar to what shields do, except for melee. Resolve gives bonuses to health. Cunning gives extra ammunition for your retinue. Instinct gives melee damage and a bonus to recruitment cost. I think this is one of the better ones. And Authority gives morale. They also have non-combat abilities, but we don't need to talk about those too much right now until we get into discussing administration things. So, the next guy I want to recruit here will be a spear guard into Jiang's group. And then the other thing that I want to do is so I met 2 new guys here by taking out this Toolmaker. We have Zheng Jiang here and Gao Gan, who is actually over here. So I'm going to be destroying both of these guys later, but not right now, because I'm going to loot to the north first. So that means it's a perfect time to take Gao Gan, who has very poor food, and offer him my little, I don't want to make payment, I want to take payment. Okay, so he doesn't want to give me very much. But at the same time, let's see, I could take 210 now, or I could take 550 over 10 turns. I think that for me it's all about the maximum overall at the moment, so I'll take the 55 a turn for a food.
Rational minds always find common ground.
And we will get more food soon.
Bring me my spoils.
All right. So that should be good. Thinking. I probably don't need... So I want to keep my my overall army size down as much as possible. That's kind of the most interesting challenge in the early stage of games in the Total War series, is that you're in this constant economic choice between the size of an army you can support and the amount of surplus you can build up to develop your buildings and economy. And so you really want to be running a nice surplus, but that means that you're strongly incented to barely win battles, not build a huge army that will then stomp whoever you encounter. It's one of the things I actually like most about this game, is because it makes every minor choice that much more important, and it really means that to play the game well, you have to be on the bleeding edge of it, the edge of between success and failure, and like we already talked about, pushing the systems of the game. So let's not recruit anyone else. We will give Kongqian more guys later, but I don't think we need them right now. So, at this point, invariably, there will be a group of doofuses coming up here from Heidong, some of Dong Min's, Dong Zhao's goons. And so we're going to need to deal with them here. And the way that we're going to deal with them is by having Kongqian stay in stay in this town. There we go. We want to just get him out of the way there so that we can move further. I think that we are not in too much of a hurry to get around here. Actually, you know what? That's right. We're going to trespass our way through. So yeah, we are in a hurry. Because the fastest way to get there is to 1, 2, 3 our way in. Yep.
Resist servitude.
Oh, which means poop sauce. It means I probably actually wasted substantial movement by moving Kongqian over here because I forgot which way I was going around.
I take what I need.
Hopefully that will be okay. I think it will. Also, one more reason that it's really quite important to not lose too many guys, right? Because you want to be able to field a group at full strength. All right, and so we're going to get our first reform. And our first reform actually varies a little bit depending on the situation, which is kind of fun. So like, the main ones that are quite good early on is this reduction in construction time, which we'll get a little bit later, and the extra income. But the base extra income from peasantry, for example, does almost nothing for us right now. Yeah, the lower construction cost for mines is a really good one for when we want to upgrade our mines. Building upkeep doesn't do that much for us, and these advanced buildings don't do that much for us. So generally, let's talk about some of the strongest reforms. This one, standing armies plus 10 replenishment for your whole group, is, I think, one of the strongest. On the military side, this is the most important one and the most worth going for. On the economic side, there's a whole group of them in this tier that starts with construction time and then goes up here to plus 20% income from industry and 25% income from industry as you level up your tools and mines. These are excellent for Zheng Jiang. This one, which gives tons of extra income from industry, all sources, and peasantry, is great on the economic side. And then finally, these gold ones. So this one that starts with the tax collectors gives public order and then corruption. This one here, which takes a city, gives an administrative position, which is super, super important. That's most likely the next one we will take once we have a city of that size. But I don't think, sorry, that we won't have that in 5 turns, but once we have a city of that size, we'll take it right away. because administrators are quite good. Yeah, then moving up for lower corruption and extra public order. Same here, extra public order, and minus 20% character salary are all very, very solid in this whole side of things. The green upgrades, not too useful. The blue upgrades, not super, super useful. Because commerce is much more important in the later game. Industry is much more important in the earlier game. So, yes. So what we're going to start with is, as I mentioned, we're going to move forward with the... we could... Actually, I'm going to try something a little bit different this time, and I'll explain why later. In the past, I've kind of used all of my spare reforms, shooting for the plus 10% replenishment option, but I actually think that that's not good for Zheng Jiang, and I'm going to go for just the standard, just the standard plus 50% peasantry income one first, not because it's particularly good right now, but because I don't think I'm going to go for the replenishment thing. Reason for that, and forgive the long digression, but you know, this is learning and explaining, is that she has a special building called Bandits. And Bandits gives faction-wide replenishment bonuses for a small reduction in income in the local the local environment. And sometimes it can become a large reduction in income. But this plus 10, like from one building, you can get 10% replenishment faction-wide. And this is just a super, super, super strong effect, especially when you're putting it in smaller commanderies that are only making food and not making that much income anyway. So let's keep that in mind for later. All right, so now let's take our first look at our court. Zheng Jiang, Mishu, none of these guys look so impressive except for this guy. Go Master? That's kind of cool. And he's level 4 already. It's the same level as Zhang.
I shall not waver. Prepare
Okay.
my chambers.
And so Kongqian, we are going to recruit one additional guy for him, and that will be just a very simple G militia. And, sorry, we're also going to recruit one more guy for him, which is standard archer. So now he can kind of hold hold his own a little bit.
Bandits are less corrupt than nobles.
Against the guys that are going to be coming up. So, yeah, and now we're not making that great of a an income, but what can you do? And there we are, our little friends, as promised. And now,
Always forward.
oof. Yeah, so it is going to be extra turns still. Okay. Yeah. I think I probably wasted a turn with my poor movement for Kongqian, but it shouldn't cost me too badly. All right. So let's take a look at our invaders here. We've got 3 generals coming in: Guo Shi, Niu Fu, and Li Jue. They have a ton of horses and spearmen. Seems pretty intimidating, but
Prepare my chambers.
Kongqian plus our Toolmaker, they should be more than capable of handling this situation. So we will move them around probably next turn.
Remain supple.
Because remember, it's not just him and his 4 buddies. We've got a garrison here that is also rapidly recovering with our 3 swordsmen
It is
and
a
cavalry.
death which refuses summer's lift.
So it's close, I think when I started playing this game, I kept Zheng Jiang over, and I had all 3 of my generals fight these guys, but it's not necessary. So, since it's not necessary, we're going to be doing 2 things at the same time. Hey, buddy. So Gao Gan is obviously not our biggest fan anymore. Meanwhile, we get minus 20% construction cost and extra construction time reduction, thanks to completing our objective. And then we have to do this thing where we recruit 2 new units. So we wanted to really wait for that to happen before we recruited too many guys in, because it is a very good buff. Oh, wow. So you're really moving slow for some reason. Iron Archer, extra expertise. That's a good, that's a fine one. All right. So she has to do another fast move here. There we go. And now we're losing our supplies a little bit, but that should be okay. And now we have 2 choices here, and I'm not sure yet. Let's talk through what we want to do. Either we can keep Kongqian hidden inside the Toolmaker, let them come and try to attack, and then defend from the inside. That's probably optimal, especially if they think that they have an advantage, which I expect they will believe that, rightly or wrongly. And then, yeah, I think that that's going to be right. Because otherwise we could set up an encampment, have them attack the encampment, and then have reinforcements come in. But I think I'm more comfortable at having them just attack the Toolmaker directly. I just hope that they don't decide to starve us out, which is always a pain. Okie dokie. Let's then... Okay, these guys no problem. We could, if we really wanted to, we could recruit Yin Li in, but I don't think we need to. You know, if I lose this Toolmaker, then I'll have to start again. Alright, so predict decisive defeat for our poor dudes. But we're going to do our best to not get decisively defeated.
We have work to do today. Let heaven observe.
And so the key thing,
Let us go.
The key thing when you are fighting a defensive battle is to take the opposite advice from when you're attacking, right? Is that your best friends are these towers, and we need to do everything in our power to maximize the amount of time that our enemy spends in front of and fighting within these towers. And so they are lined up all in front, which is perfectly fine for us. If we can get them in this area, they're going to be in double tower shot range, which would be swimming for us, or which would be excellent for us. So what I'm going to do is we've got our spear unit. So let's just do this thing here. We're going to do number 2 will be our archer, who we're going to want, yeah, like right up there is fine. Oh wait, no, number 3 will be our archer. Number 2 will be our cavalry. We're going to send our cavalry and our general down here. Number 4 will be our spearmen. Number 5 will be our 3 melee troops at the main gate. And number 6... the question is, you know what? I'm going to add you to number 5. I'm going to have 4 melee troops, or 4 sword troops, non-spears at the main gate. And then we're just going to have 1 down here, in case they move in a way I don't expect. Alright, so let's select 1 and 2. Head out here, trying to stay within the zone, and then we're going to position all of our guys outside. And so these guys are now moving into range of the first towers.
You are weak. Your words are as pathetic as you are. Move out quickly. At the ready. Faster.
Alright, we're luring most of the cavalry over here, so let's get these guys activated here. Oh, huh, I got flanked around by these guys. Ha! That's no worries. I'll let those swordsmen take care of them. I'm gonna go for the generals. So we're increasing our melee evasion here. We want to make sure that our spearmen are doing the best they can. This isn't quite optimal because these guys are not in the oh shit. They're not in the attack range of the second tower. There we go. We've got 1 general down. Obviously not going to be fighting, and now we're just going to be doing repeated charges. Against these guys. And the repeated charges will slowly, hopefully, oh, these guys are running. Let's get these guys into the fight. Yep. There you go. Look at that. That's his all tower. Yeah, and the repeated charges will just break their morale little by little and do decent damage. And we'll just take the archers, just throw them into the fray here. There we go. And now for this one, we actually do want to destroy as many of their troops as we possibly can. Okay, our archers are not going to catch up with anyone, so that's fine. And like so, here's these Lancer militia. We can see there were 6, 5, 4, 3. Look at those towers go. 2, 1. Can we get them all? Can we get them all? Oh. We'll take a look back in a second. So we kill their other general. And then we'll grab these guys. Oh, I don't see any dots over there. That means that guy is also dead. And we're going to speed it up. But yes, this is just a nice little illustration of the power of the towers in this game, especially on defense. And so, yeah, Kongqian like barely took any damage even, because the generals just got so ripped apart by those towers. All right, and we're not going to be able to catch up with those lancers, so we will claim victory there. They definitely got some kills, but feel good about our performance there.
When justice triumphs, revelry awaits.
Ooh, 900 and we killed 3 guys. Jeez. And we get an extra 500 for beating them up like that. And in. Oh, that's right. And Dong Zhuo himself shows up. Oh, this is unfortunate that we get this so quick, but no problem. So, yeah, there's some people who don't want to leave when we're relocating people. We don't have any of the things we can do here. It would be great to leave them since we're not really producing food. But we just have to force them to move and spend money. So, now we have a couple of really interesting battles coming up. This one, where our boy here has lance cavalry, archers in the mine, and additional cavalry. It's like just not an easy fight. We're going to start them out for now. But we will fight them this turn, so don't worry. And then the second one is that we have the option here of coming in to fight Dong Zhuo himself. And I'm tempted to do it. Very tempted. Without the extra support of our defense, though, you know, obviously it's much tougher. But thankfully, we did enough damage to a lot of their guys that, you know, they only have 5, 7, etc. But going after Dong Zhuo himself is going to be a challenge. And this guy's also level 4. Jeez. So these are some serious generals we have on our hands. Kongqian, are you up to the challenge, my friend? Are you up to the challenge? You better put on that archer. Get a little bit of extra melee evasion. All right. You know, I think it's a close call of whether to do this or not. The other option would be to recruit in another guy. Yin Li would be the obvious choice and do that. But I'm probably going to do it. He's essentially no threat right now. Close defeat. All right. Let's go for it. So hopefully we'll be able to break their morale. I wish we had the ability to do a night battle, because their units are just so small. Our units are also so small. Alright, so let's get ourselves on a little hill in a little forest. 1, 2, 3, and actually let's set them at 3 because we want our spear to be a little bit more mobile, since he's going to be our main damage dealer against their cavalry. And so our plan will be to do repeated charges, not dealing with the generals right away, break their horse units, and then swarm their generals. Oof, that's a bunch of splash damage. That special ability. What's this guy's special ability? Reign of Terror. Extra armor piercing damage. Oh, he's going to be a pain in the ass to kill. Yeah, so we do not want Kongxian to like get in fights with either of these guys. They're both substantially stronger than him. So here we go.
The time has come. Weapons. Attend. Double time. Move. Make haste.
Here they come towards us. They're just going to be walking, which is fine. They were in march mode before, for some reason, so they're exhausted, which is not a bad thing for Team Good Guys. Let's make sure that they are not in skirmish mode, because we want them to keep firing, even when we get charged, inevitably. Yeah, I wish I had the bow on Kongxian. That would actually make a huge difference here. Yeah, that bow is actually excellent at taking out generals. Alright. There you go. You're going to start running at me. Bring it on. So there's 5 and 6, just 11 guys there. And we can start firing. No. Not a huge success so far, I have to say. But we're going to take our guys and move them into the forest here. Leading us on a goose chase, huh? Making sure these guys do not get around us. These guys should be taken out pretty rapidly. Good. Okay. And group 2 can now take these guys out. Okay. Whoa. My archers just got, or my spearmen just got smashed. Alright, remember the plan here. Oh, wowie wow. They're doing huge splash damage. Huge splash damage! Okay, this might have been a mistake. I guess I should have used my ability earlier. It's just the 2 generals left. So, guys, just start running away. Just start running. Alright, I just got a nice hit in. Oh, get the fuck out of there. No, 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 don't run, don't run, don't run. We're fine. We're fine, guys. This is not going well. Like I said, the generals are so strong. Okay, and doing this little dancey dance, not gonna help me. Alright. Oof. Okay.
We are losing ground.
Yikes! Just got slashed super hard. 12 seconds.
Our generals have fallen.
Nope.
Command has
Oh! Alright. That was a little too aggressive. Should have hired one more general. Should have hired one more general. I wanted to take the opportunity to kill Deng Shuo. Did not work. That's okay though. We'll make Yen our new commander.
thrust with conviction and strike true.
Get some extra XP for Zheng.
Strike out. No.
We killed some of the other units. Interesting. Oh. Meanwhile, Gong gets some ability points for giving him reach because he has the same upgrade path as Jiang. So, yep. I'm going to leave that in there. I think it was an interesting choice to, usually Deng Zhuo himself does not spawn randomly to replace his generals. And so I didn't know quite how strong he would be. The answer was very strong. I've taken him out with Zheng Jiang before, but Kong Qian was not up for the battle, clearly. But I think that our tool producer, our Toolmaker, is still fairly safe.
So long as fortune shines down, we shall know glory.
You know what would have been great, actually, is I should have just run out towards him and made an encampment to see if he would attack me because he would believe he had the superior force.
Kill them.
And then I could have taken him down with towers. That would have been the true expert play. All right, so we have an interesting one now. There's a bunch of guys in here. Because there's a bunch of guys, they are going to be manning all of these towers, or all of these entrances. So we can come in 2 ways, either over here or the main drag here. I like coming in on this side much better because of this tower. As you can see, it actually covers the entrance to the right tower area. So in order to come in here, you actually have to take this one out first anyway, but the same is not true the other way around. So we're going to take out these 2 towers and come in. And the way that we're going to do that, excuse me, is by exploiting the fact that these guys can't fire beyond a 180-degree arc. So we're going to come from behind them. And specifically, we're going to come from behind them with fire arrows. So, who has fire arrows? If you remember, Liu Shang's superb archers here. Let's get everybody over here really quick. And we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 for our couple of units there. 5 for our fire archers, 6 for our crossbows, 7 for our regular bows, and 7 will become 5 after a little bit. All right. And so we're just going to screw up their deployment a little bit by putting our 2 fire arrows in there. The rest of our team back here. all nicely hidden, except for our pal, the hidden axes, who can go up there to scout things out. Although we don't want them to start shooting yet. Alright, and these guys are going to lose a ton of people in this maneuver, but unfortunately that's just the way it has to be. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come up to the limit of this thing and see if we can start putting some fire on that guy. Looks like we can.
Our men have been discovered.
We don't want to waste too many arrows. 2 volleys. Oh, did they not get the second volley off? Second volley, please. Need one more set of shots. Thank you, guys. That should be good. So that's being damaged, and now if you remember, they're right on the edge of actually being attacked by this tower. So I'm going to just run in and attack that tower now. As long as we can't move above that line, but there's not really a danger in that at the moment. And we're going to go into loose formation, which makes it slightly harder for us to be hit by arrows, but we're still going to take a lot of damage. We will lose many good soldiers here. 1, and one more good volley, guys. All right, great. And then let's get this other one. Again, just making sure not to cross that line. All right, one more good set. Maybe slightly better than that. Like, actually shoot your bows, guys. Guys? Alright, well, you can also half-ass it, I suppose. That was pretty half-assed. Yep, so they took a bunch of damage. But they are taking out the towers. So we're just gonna put them over here at the edge of this tower's radius, where they should be able to take out their last target. And voila. We've taken some losses, but our biggest threat is now dispersed. Remember, though, that they have archers, cavalry, spearmen, the whole shebang. Okay, now we're going to start moving our hidden axes up as this tower burns. And I believe we can also move these puppies up. Let's move them up to right here for now. 7 becomes part of 5.
I shall revel in your destruction.
5.
Do not waste your breath. You will need it.
I want you to undo the loose formation.
The time has come.
I see.
Moment, warriors.
So yeah, here we go, where we're having guys set down, and we are about to see another lovely AI exploit. So this time, our friendly little AI exploit is the fact that these troops do not like to come out of their base. They don't like it at all. So like, even though here they are, standing in basically plain sight, they are just gonna stay inside until I am finished with them. And on top of that, they don't even like sending their good units, their archers to me. They're sending their other guys. Right, hold on. There we go. So with no archers, just these guys here, we can begin a very nasty program of exterminating them. And so we're just going to wait until all of our bowmen are in place. We're actually going to put them pretty prominently so that they have really good angles. And then we're going to take these guys out. And remember, the only thing that we are not allowed to do is move into this firing arc. Okay. So, let's talk about exterminating some poopers. So I'm going to make these guys part of group 5 for now. And then I'm going to assist their morale by having Jiang actually come in and attack them. Okay, and I'm going for the other guys here. And like, I can lure them out very close, and then they will head back. Because, you know, it's scary out here.
Does your ambition know no limits?
Why should it?
Okay, so now those guys are fleeing, but they will return. This is mostly just to inflict casualties, not to destroy the units. And these, yeah, lightly armored, shieldless spear units, they're just excellent fodder for this kind of thing.
Look, the enemy run! Craven! Take them down!
Now these guys are running forward,
Do not relent!
so we punish that and make sure that they do not come back. Nice. So yeah, we're going to make sure that they turn clear. There you go. They've gone clear. And so now we're going to take these guys out. Meanwhile,
Our men have no ammunition! They cannot fire!
okay. So we take them out of the group to make sure, because otherwise if they stay in the group when we're doing this clicking, they will start charging forward. We don't want that. Alright, so these guys, these Lance Cavalry Captain actually have really strong armor. I'm more happy to inflict some damage on the actual base cavalry. And then we will start our other work. Oh yeah, that's right. We have Lu with a bow as well. It's going to happen more and more, especially since these guys have the loose formation. Makes them much harder to hit. But we're going to do a little bit of damage here and there. That's enough. All right, Lu can start firing now as well. And so what I'm going to do here is actually this side seems like the better spot.
Yes! How many have you killed? Not enough, I think.
Oh, how witty. How very witty.
There we go. And now they're coming out. Oh, one of our guys flees as well. How about that? Alright, but this should be good. Because they're coming out. They still haven't sent their archers. So, this last-ditch charge is going to result in a bad time for them. Good. And now they're coming forward here again, somewhat unsurprisingly. Alright, they actually want to fight Jiang. They can do it, but it's not going to end well for them. Lu will take a little bit of damage from these guys. Oh, nice. Our spears are back. Are these guys recovered? No. Ooh, now they're archers. Oh, Lu. I did not expect you to get that hurt. Okay. She's back, she's back. Alright, and now group 5. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Let's see if we can do something about those guys. Meanwhile, up here, there we go. Excellent. Oh, and we're getting some newly recovered spear guys. Alright, let's just keep doing our best to take out these archers. Lu is in really, or sorry, Jiang is in really good shape. We can take these guys out. Let's see if we can get a couple of extra casualties in here. Great, and that's going to do it. The only thing here is, I didn't look at the chances of capturing this guy, but if you kill them, you do get extra gold. And I'm very interested in extra gold. Come on, man. Oh wow, he's really fast.
Have no ammunition. They cannot fire.
And he's gonna go out that way.
Feel the earth's power.
Ooh, got smacked.
Strike.
He's got 21 health.
Steel yourself.
Going for him.
The enemy general.
Boom. Brought him down. Alright. Battle takes a really long time. But, again, it's important that we stay in decent fighting shape without too many losses. And that's doing a lot with little again. And we will occupy.
We should enjoy it.
So now we own the full commandery. And we have this lovely benefit of better construction costs and lower construction times. So, yeah, we have a couple of choices what to do. I think I'm going to upgrade the Toolmaker for a couple reasons. The main one is that it gives us a huge boost to the garrison on our southern flank. It's 2 extra cavalry units and an extra sword.
Remain firm.
Okay, hopefully he's not going to die. I hope that. I wonder if we need to recruit one more guy in there. Killed in battle, Huan Dian. Killed in the line of duty, Kong Qian. Or Kong Qian. Alright. Oh, shit. This reminds me that I forgot to do one important thing at the beginning, because we didn't talk about public order, which is quite important. So let's take a little aside, talk about public order. So, faction support is a thing that you have to build up from 0 to 100 after taking out every new little city or subdivision. When it's low, you get a ton of public order penalties and a reduction in your income. This can be massively offset by exempting your people from taxes. Public order does quite a bit here. Again, it's not as much like some of the guys in Warhammer, for example, where as long as it wasn't negative 100, you were fine. Here, your population will start to go down every season if your public order is too low, and it will go up every season if it's very high. So keeping, like, if your public order is going to be about stable, keeping it at a high level above 50 is quite good. So even though we sacrifice a little bit of cash, I am going to bring in some, or I'm going to exempt myself from taxes, my guys from taxes for a little while. You know what else I'm going to do? I am going to recruit an extra spear unit for Yin. Don't die, Yin. Good luck on the whole not dying thing.
You would not need fear us.
Yuan Shao wants money and an archer for a non-aggression pact. I'm
If
sorry,
that is
pal.
your choice,
It is definitely my choice. Alright, he's running. I'm happy to have him run away. I didn't get him this time, guys. Declares war on the Yellow Turban Rebellion, huh? And now I'm supposed to fight him eventually. But I can befriend him first, and this will actually be a very good time. I'll finish this turn, and then we will save and quit out. So I've now met more folks.
glad
Zheng Jiang is our pal, so we're going to request a non-aggression pact. which we can get for just 60 gold, which is quite worth it, I would say. Because he is our pal to the north for the foreseeable future.
Where are my treasures? Bandits are less corrupt than
Zheng is upgraded, so now she has the extra movement range, which is fantabulous. And yeah, and we're gonna go take this livestock farm from the Yellow Turbans and start pushing into a bit more territory. The question is how best to get there. Do we come from this side? Because I want to be in my territory at the end of this turn, for sure.
will know the name
I'm going to try here. Oh no! Zheng Jiang, you're already here? Ugh. I knew I was too slow. That one turn makes such a huge difference. Such a huge difference. Alright, so we're basically okay from a recruitment and food perspective. I think the next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to go take this fishing port. Got a stone pig. Not too bad. Yeah, so I'm going to want to go take that fishing port, which actually means running down here. Although I'm going to encamp. I'm going to camp myself out for a little while first, because I'm going to need a bit more supplies. Supplies just can't be recovered in winter very easily. So let's say that this is the end of part 1 of this video, and hopefully you've enjoyed it so far. Despite my one mistake and getting a little overconfident, losing a battle and killing our buddy Kong Qian, I think that this is a fairly strong start, where it's turn 8, and we've secured our commandery. We've got 2 armies with some additional things on the horizon. The other thing I'm going to do right now is make sure that we do one more recruitment. I'm going to get one more crossbow in, because I want to get the bonus to the bonus to replenishment from our objective. This one, growing might. Yeah, so I think that when these 2 guys come back, we will be in good shape. So let's do that now. End this turn, and then we'll end the video.
Battle is not always the answer.
Military access for more of my ancillaries. No. They are not for sale, pal.
Acceptable.
Yes. He did take my farm. There we go. And okay, so slightly poopy that we lost the farm to Zheng Jiang. Last time I played through, I did beat him to it there, which was a very nice little gift.
Deflect with shield, cleave with
But
sword.
so be it. So yeah, I'm just going to end this video for now, and then we will pick up from here, starting turn 9, with a next version, with a part 2. Alright, take it easy.